Hello, everyone. We are going to do something that I think a lot of you will might struggle with. The idea is simple. So if you have to, please watch this video a couple of times. Um, yeah, let's get started. Let's just say right now we have a bunch of students. Let's just say there are 1,000 students at KIS or imaginary KIS, and then we're going to do heights. So 167, 183, for example, so on and so forth, 152. Maybe that's Reina. And then we have who's really tall. I think DK is pretty tall, maybe 185. And Jack, let's say maybe 180. I don't know how tall Jack is. 186 maybe. I don't know. A bunch of people with different heights. Okay. And then there is, and then so if we take these 1,000 numbers, we will be able to form a distribution. Let's suppose that it's normal. And then the average is a certain amount. Doesn't matter. It's not too important. Um, so now we're going to say that we're going to set the null hypothesis. Let's just say that the average of null is about 167. So 167. The null alternative is that it is greater than or equal to 167. And then we set the alpha value at 0.05. Okay, so that means that it's over here, the top 5%. So that means that if we set an alpha that is at 5%, we will reject the null hypothesis. And then there is significant data to suggest the alternative. So what does that mean? Okay, so now remember we randomly select, right? Randomly. So this point it'd be right here, and then some points be over here. So we randomly select a bunch of points. Most of the time, it should be around 167. So it will. So a lot of the times that we will select it, it will support the null hypothesis. Is that the average height is 167. Okay. However, is that it is possible that just say we select sample size of whatever, we select sample size, we pick this person, we pick this person, we pick this person randomly, and then that ends up having a average value of something that is over here within this area. But it's an accident because it is true. It is true that the null hypothesis is true. Is 167. But you can accidentally pick certain values when you sample whatever value that we just do sample size of 10. It is possible that you randomly will select numbers, and then that turns out to be in this region of the average of the sample size equals to 10. You just accidentally pick 10 really tall people. And then you will reject it because it's within this alpha region, right? So that is considered an error. Because even though it's true that the KIS average is 167, but you got a data that will reject the null hypothesis, which means that you will reject this fact that it's 167 because you pick 10 people and then they're all way taller than 167. And then you think that, okay, well, maybe the average is not 167. So now they have names. So this is assuming the null hypothesis is true. and then you can accept it or you can reject it. So that means that you will accept it, accept the fact that KIS has 167 as an average height 95% of the time. Because look at others. If you keep selecting data and then you will think that 95% of, because this is 5%, right? 95% of the time you will satiate, like you're gonna find it here, you're gonna find it here. It will be true. It will be 167. So if you accept that null hypothesis is true, then great, because it is true, because we're assuming that it's true. We're assuming that this is the average height, and then we will select data, and then 95% of the time it will be fallen within this white region, and it's true. However, you will reject it even though it is true. So this thing is bad. We call this error type 1 error. So let me write that down. Type 1 error. Type 1 error. Because type 1 error means that you accidentally, well, you just pick people that are way taller by chance. But the truth is that it is true. But most of the time you will pick, maybe a Jack, maybe you will pick a Reina, you will pick people that will balance out and form an average. But it is possible that you randomly pick 10 people and you only pick the tallest person. So you will now not believe that the KIS has an average of 167. So that is called a type 1 error. It occurs 5% of the time because 5% of the time is over here. But if you change the alpha value, it will change. Okay, we're going to stop right here. How do I stop?